The Professional Bowlers Tour Tip of the Week is brought to you by Old Spice Stick Deodorant and Solid Antiperspirant. We give you 24-hour protection.
Here it is. Mark Roth, one of bowling's all-time leading money winners, #2 on the money list. The man who really brought power bowling to bowling. When Mark Roth came out, the days of the down and in line balls seemed to go by the wayside, Mark. And I think you do it better than anybody else. And what's the key? Getting your hand
Get my hand way under the ball, cocking my wrist, and trying to stay behind the ball until I get back on my swing, and then hitting through with it.
A lot of snap at the point of release. Great for strikes. We see a lot of kids coming out on the tour doing that, and I see them around the country. But the key of the game is still spares. And I've watched you for years and years being probably the best spare shooter in the sport of bowling. So what's the difference? I know you can't throw the big power ball and make spares.
Well, I keep my wrist kind of relaxed in the ball, put my fingers in, just trying to relax my hand, not squeeze too hard, and just try and go straight back and just straight at the pins, hard and straight, and keep it on a straight line.
Okay, for the power shot, you're underneath. When you want to go shoot the spares, you break the wrist back, keep your hand behind the ball, hard and straight. Let's see one.
You got it.
Now, 6 through 24, Nelson.
Marshall Holman just sliding by. Del Ballard, powerful Bob Hanley. Dale Eagle up there. 300 by Harvey this week. Mark Roth, who helped us on the tip. Defending champion Weber. Beefcake Boss, Rowdy Morrow. Guppy Troop. Powerful Mark Baker. Mark Fay. Tommy Baker, the dapper one. National champion, former champion. Bob Chamberlain, Bruce Carter, Jeff Mackey. Pedersen who won the AC Delco. Leroy Barnhop. Kessler, Wayne Webb, riding out the top 23 there. We paid 53 places, $970 to 53rd, Chris.
And the United States Open is up to be contested 1 week from today in Venice, Florida. The Bowling Proprietors Association America, the first leg of the Triple Crown in bowling. That's next Saturday. Be sure to be with us at 3 Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central.
That is a 56-game tournament. This week was 42 games. We started on Tuesday. They'll start the Pro-Am over there in Venice tomorrow, Sunday. The tournament starts on Monday. Great tournament. The U.S. Open, the first leg in bowling's Triple Crown. And as we watch the nice crowd, it's been a sellout crowd all week long as Don Carter, Bert Rose, Jerry Eisen, the host here at this bowling center. The great promotion done by a fellow named John Smith as the action is about ready to go.
All right, and in steps Darryl Bauer, 5'10" and thin at 140, Bo.
Chris, and he has never lost a match in a championship round. Darryl Bauer going against professional bowling's top average man from 1985, a guy who really looked sharp in the second game, a determined Mark Baker.
He is just off a 257. After 2 victories, averaging 231, Mark Baker. Now, 2 resident pro titles and 1 on the tour. True Value Open in Indianapolis. The finals beating hometown Mike Albee. Darryl Bauer. Operates one of his dad's 3 bowling centers in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area.
Here's a man who's really worked on his game. He used to have a lot of trouble with his arm swing. He used to have it completely contorted, but now it's a very simple, straight swing. He kind of cocks that ball down there with that tremendous wrist action like Amleto Monacelli just has shown us in the previous match. Darryl Bauer, a man not many people know except the top pros. All
right. Opening with a very strong double here, putting pressure on Baker, who has accepted it twice today, defeating Walter Ray Williams, 205 to 170, and then Monacelli, 257 to 227. It's a 10-pin who has a 50-pound pull on the weights. Doesn't matter in bowling. It does in boxing, a sport we'll be doing a week from tomorrow, but he is big, Bo.
Big guy with tremendous athletic ability. Cross lane for the 10-pin. Mark Baker, who is I high school All-American basketball player, was a scoring machine, averaged 29 points a game in his senior year in the California area, has opted for bowling, and I think he made a correct choice. Not big enough to be a forward, and I don't think fast enough to be a guard, as our producer Kenny Wolf has observed during the week.
And today, both Kenny and Larry Cam, our director, have really recorded the great artistry stroking the bowling ball of Mark Baker. Here are upcoming stops, as we indicated, the United States Open a week from today, Venice, Florida, then back to Bo's hometown for the St. Louis Open, followed by the Light Beer Championship, the second leg of the $1 Million Try in Milwaukee. Well,
every week we see that split, Chris.
We do.
Marshall Holman last week had a chance to put the match away, left the 2-8-10. Once again, Darryl Bauer quickly grabs another ball. You see the action of the two-pin doesn't quite, head pin doesn't quite come back on the lane to knock out the 2-8.
all right, with an open frame, and just can't recover from opens or errors in bowling like you can in some of the other sports. Have a bad first shot in golf, you can recover with a good second.
Especially when you leave something like the 2-8-10. The reason the pros leave it so often is they throw that tremendous sharp breaking hook at the back end, and the ball just chips that head pin right off.
Right back. Yes, Darryl, if he won today, would he think about coming out on the tour full time? He said he didn't think so. He enjoys the operation of bowling establishments. Come out occasionally, have some fun, pick up a few bucks. We'll be back after this. Earlier we mentioned lane numbers, 13 and 14, but Nelson, 14 is much more to his liking. Baker.
Baker has struck almost every ball on late 14. He's up there now, has a 5-pin lead, can extend to 15 with a double.
Leaving a 10-pin, looking for his 11th strike on that lane of our championship pair.
Same shot he had in the third frame. Strike in the first on the left lane, left the 10-pin in the second, strike in the third on the left-hand lane, another 10-pin on 14.
Looking at the back of Mark Baker, who started in the number 5 position here in our finals of the Lite Beer Classic, and is now in his third game. More of it after this.
If you're big, I think you have to use all your height and your strength to your advantage. For me, is make sure you use all the leg strength you can. Have to get down on every shot. If you have a chance to use all your power, give it everything you have.
This is the answer to the question how he uses his size to his advantage. Right there. A graphic demonstration, Bo.
Very true, Chris. As you can see, the left-hand lane, the ball is still finishing very sharply, like the players like to see it. The right-hand lane, as anybody who watches this telecast week after week, one of the lanes will usually what we call tighten up, where the ball won't finish quite as much. It's happening on the right-hand lane. I believe that's going to be the key lane to victory. Let's see what Bauer does here. He can strike to take the lead.
And a pesky 10-pin on the right lane for Pennsylvania's Darryl Bauer. His mom and dad are here. There's the man on the left that started as a pen boy at the YMCA. Now owns 3 bowling establishments, Nelson.
Jack and Lillian Bauer from Pennsylvania. Great couple. Great son for a bowler.
We asked Darryl Bauer why he hasn't gone full-time on the Professional Bowlers Tour.
Well, back in '81, I had injured muscle bicep fibers to my right arm, and that has limited my bowling throughout the past few years. It's much improved now, so I anticipate this year I'll bowl maybe about half the tournament.
He's demonstrating his ability right here today, looking for his second PBA title to go with 2 resident titles.
When I first saw Darryl Bauer, he had just a kind of a kink in his arm swing, Chris. That's how he pulled that bicep muscle. He seemed to straighten it out now, but he just says he's going to bowl part-time. Not a bad job, running the center and bowling part-time.
Pressing over, leaving the 6-10 for Mark Baker. Remember, this is his 3rd game. This year, we've seen him come from 5th position to win. Look how close to the channel.
people wonder why the ball hangs on most of the time. It's that tremendous spin on the ball, plus the outside board in a bowling lane is all maple, Chris, and seems to hold the ball on better than a pine board, which the rest of the lane is made out of. The center of the lane is made out of pine. The outside board is made out of maple. Naturally, the oil pattern, or the way the lanes are conditioned, determines where the players must play. The reason the players are playing that extreme outside line is because the center of the lane is what we call spotty, erratic, and maybe a little bit oilier than this outside trajectory.
Lane 13. And lane 13, 7-10, and he almost stepped over the foul line. He sticks a lot, Mark Baker.
Surprise, surprise. Baker hits the ball where he needs to just throw the ball real hard over near the 10 pin and hope he can bounce it out over into the 7 pin.
With the speed on the ball, content seemingly to get 1 pin, and he now has lost the lead by 8 pins. More of this third game following this. Okay, Jim McKay in that tuxedo. Very dapper. And Gary Skidmore of New Mexico leads the money list thus far this year. Good pace, Bo.
Skidmore doing well. Wayne Webb, steady. Holman, Dennis Jakes, Mark Roth as usual. And our tournament leader today, David Ozio, can win another $27,000 and have a leg up on that $1 million. As there's Mike Hart, who is the director of market planning and sports marketing for the Miller Brewing Company. Courtesy of him, they got a chance for $1 million, a minimum of $27,000 first, Chris.
And the first of 3 Miller telecasts, where an individual bowler, if he wins on 3, all 3 starting with today, then Milwaukee, and then North Olmsted, $1 million. Darryl Bauer leaving the 4 pin.
Darryl Bauer, who has a excellent amateur record. He won and represented the United States in the foreign tournaments 2 years ago and did quite well. And he's also finished 3rd in what we call the ABC Masters Tournament, the American Bowling Congress Tournament.
Very methodical, cool. A very, very close 3rd game. Pivotal semifinal game. The winner to meet the tournament leader, David Ozio, for the title.
That's the first ball that Darryl Bauer really took charge with since the first 2 frames. It seems like these players started off really going at it the first 2 frames. Bauer opened in the 3rd. Baker opened in the 7th. Baker trails by 8 pins. 3 frames left. Somebody has to get aggressive and take the lead.
Finished 3rd on the West Coast, and here on the East Coast, an important afternoon for this young man. 2, 4, 10.
There it is again. We have seen the right-hand lane. It happened last week, what we call, the players call it the oil is carrying down, or the conditioner's carrying down. As a player rolls the bowling ball, the conditioner from the front part of the lane where you release the ball carries down in the braking area. The ball will not finish properly. We start seeing these 2-10 combinations. This is possible for Baker to make.
An open frame. So much at stake. Victor today would requalify him for the Firestone.
Good try. Now here's how our projection. We talked about it in the Ask Bo. Baker with all strikes could finish 196. Bauer is going at a 195 pace. That would be spare strike. Still could be a close match.
And of course a victory here would get him 27, and a victory here would give him 1 leg on the light slam, worth $1 million if you can win all 3.
Contrasting styles. Bauer is an arm bowler, Baker a leg bowler. Bauer has the potential to take a 29-pin lead with a strike here in the 9th.
Oh, he averted the split, leaving only the 7th pin. Mom and Dad are tense, and rightfully so, just as the parents of John Odrobinik a week ago.
Lane 14, that's the key lane. Only 1 strike in this whole match on 14. That was by Bauer in the 2nd. Or in the, what was it,
And in his 2 victories.
Bauer had a strike in that lane, Chris, in the first frame, and that's the only strike on that lane the whole match.
Whereas Mark Baker had 10 in his 2 victories coming into this semifinal game.
Look at the scoreboard. If Bauer goes strike, spare 9, or strike, spare, strike, he would have 195. Baker a potential 196, all in the 10th frame.
The 30-year-old from Middletown, Pennsylvania, in the Harrisburg area.
Darryl Bauer, who has never lost a match in a championship round, needs a strike and 2 pins to go on and bowl David Ozio for the title. If he does not strike on this ball, Mark Baker can win.
Dancing off the deck for Darryl Bauer. Comes from a bowling family. His brother's in the Harrisburg Hall of Fame.
Tremendous power, tremendous pin action in a critical situation. Darryl Bauer with that contorted arm swing, but Chris's steady head. Look at how steady he has that head and eyes at the point of release. He wins the match.
And last week, in his only tournament bowl this year, he finished 35th in the Quaker State Open. Darryl Bauer, David Ozio, 205 for Bauer in this game. Ozio is next for Bauer.